Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today I'll be talking about an underrated gem, in my opinion, in the Sean Connery filmography. This one is 1981's Outland. The film was directed by Peter Hyams, who had done some great films like Capricorn 1, the underrated 2001 sequel 2010, and he did another film with Sean Connery called Presidio. Sean Connery, before he's known for James Bond. He was always beloved for James Bond, and then he had a second phase of his career when once he embraced his middle age and took off the toupee and won an Academy Award for Untouchables and had a string of hits afterwards. There was a middle period where he was kind of finding his footing. He did the Great Train Robbery, Meteor, Cuba. They were good, but they didn't have the impact like James Bond. So he decided to do a science fiction movie, to go into a genre he's not really known for, and like in order to break that stereotype of the Bond lore that's been following him ever since he left. Peter Hyams had originally wanted to do a remake or a western in the vein of High Noon, but in 1981 or 1980, when the film was being started to take fold, Star Wars Aliens had taken over the box office. So unless you were Clint Eastwood, you're not going to get a western off the ground. So Peter Hyams decided to flip the genre over and make it into sci-fi, and it works in this film. I really liked it. I really enjoyed Sean Connery's portrayal of the sheriff, a very um, old school mentality of what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And he goes there because the miners are dying in this gruesome way. And he finds out that the miners are given these stimulants in order to work better, but long term they develop psychosis. So they die in these really horrific ways. Um, Peter Boyle, who plays Shepard, who's basically the caretaker of the mining facility, is kind of deterring him, saying, we make money here. If we make money, everybody's happy. We don't make money, nobody's happy. Don't interfere into the big scheme. So once he sees that Sean Connery's character is not going to give up and is going to get to the end and stop this drug ring with the stimulants, Shepard kind of calls, the CEOs of the company kind of say, we got to get rid of the sheriff. So there's going to be a shootout like in High Noon at the end of the film. The only friend that Sean Connery has is Francis Sternhagen's character, Dr. Marion Lazarius, who plays basically an alcoholic doctor on this moon of Jupiter. They develop a grudging respect for each other. The interplay between these two is priceless, and I wish they would have done more together. They were really magical, and it's one of the highlights of this film. The other highlights is the score by Jerry Goldsmith, phenomenal. The way the film looks, if you like the look of Alien 1 and Aliens, this looks very much like it would be part of that world. You could picture Ripley walking through at one point very easily, and it wouldn't be out of the norm in this. It looks great still to this day. Some of the effects are outdated. There's an implosion. It doesn't look real anymore, but that's okay. The tension between the characters, the acting makes up for it. There's a great foot chase in on the moon base. There's a great hand-to-hand combat. There's a great shootout. Peter Hyams knows how to create engaging action sequences, and it really works well here. If you like old school action, if you like 70s and early 80s action films, this really works well. So if you like Sean Connery, and if you only know him from James Bond or from The Untouchables afterwards, there's a nice little gem here from Peter Hyams that really deserves your attention, and you should really give this a look, see if you can find it. There's DVDs I see everywhere once in a while. Apparently the transfer is horrible. I bought the Blu-ray and I quite enjoy it. There's still limitations to it, but it's still pretty good and better than any DVD you can get. Or look at your streaming services. Apparently they were remastered for the streaming services. So if you can, if you like Sean Connery like I do, and you're looking for something else other than Bond and The Untouchables or The Rock, this is something you should give a chance. I think you would really like it, but I said you have to be ready that it is from 1981. The effects are a little dated, but it more makes up for it with the Sean Connery, Sternhagen interplay, And it's really weird to see Peter Boyle, who's best known now as Raymond's father, and everybody loves Raymond, and John Ratzenberger, who plays Cliff on Cheers, playing the heavies. It's really weird to see it at first, as I'm used to them doing comedic roles. So, but if you can get past that, this is a really enjoyable film, and I think it really showcases another layer in Sean Connery's acting ability, and you should really give it a go. So this is Steven with probably the best film you've never seen from Sean Connery, in 1981's Outland.